As he grabbed the bag, shots are fired.
Who shoots the shots that are fired?
Michael Boatwright.
Robert Allen, one of the 4 men convicted in the 2018 killing of XXXTentacion, walked out of prison in October 2023 after cutting a deal and testifying against the others involved.
As he grabbed the bag, shots are fired.
Who shoots the shots that are fired?
Michael Boatwright.
Where does he shoot him from? What side of the car?
Driver.
So if XXX is in the driver's seat and Michael Boatwright is in the driver's side, the shots are coming onto XXX's left side or right side? Which side?
Left side.
His decision flipped the whole case on its head, giving authorities a clear inside look at what really went down that day. Allen didn't just say a little, he gave police, prosecutors, and the jury the deepest, most detailed story anyone from inside that Dodge journey had ever shared. This wasn't surface-level talk. This was the full breakdown of the robbery on June 18, 2018, and everything that led up to it. That same day, José Onfroy, known worldwide as XXXTentacion, pulled out about $50,000 in cash from a Bank of America in South Florida. He placed the money in a Louis Vuitton bag, making it stand out even more. After that, he drove over to Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, a spot known for motorcycles and watercrafts, just trying to check out some bikes. Sitting beside him in his black BMW i8 was his step-uncle, Leonard Kerr. Onfroy was only 20 years old at the time, still rising fast but already under a spotlight that never turned off. Earlier that year, his name was everywhere. Music charts, headlines, and court updates all at once. His debut album had just dropped, and fans were tracking his every move online like it was a live stream. He moved in a way that people could recognize his car from a single post. His daily routine wasn't private anymore, and that visibility stuck in people's minds, including someone at a probation office who had noticed him months before and didn't forget it. At that exact same time, 4 men from Fort Lauderdale were riding around in a rented black Dodge Journey SUV, moving through South Florida with a dangerous plan already in motion. They had guns, masks, and one goal: find someone and take what they had. The group included Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, and Robert Allen, all locked in on making a robbery happen that day. 3 of them, Williams, Boatwright, and Allen, were all 22 years old, while Newsom was just 20, the same age as the man they were about to cross paths with. Williams, also known as Chucky, had a record that already followed him: charges tied to grand theft auto, burglary, assault, and drug possession.
Somebody was not in shot. Besides Chucky's not being shot. That's what I said. Chucky wasn't in shot. He didn't really care.
He was on probation at the time, trying to balance life as a tattoo artist while dealing with his past. And he also had 4 kids depending on him. Williams was the one behind the wheel that day. And he's also the one who spotted something that changed everything. Sitting in that parking lot at Riva Motorsports, he recognized the black BMW i8 immediately. He had seen José Onfroy before at a probation office and remembered him clearly. He even pulled up Onfroy's Instagram right there, matching the car in the post to the one parked outside. That quick move confirmed it for the whole group. They knew exactly who they were looking at. The SUV they were in had been rented just a day earlier, part of a loose setup to move around without drawing attention. They used someone else to secure the vehicle, since Allen was the only one with a valid license and needed to be ready to drive. According to Allen's later testimony, there was no detailed blueprint. Just drive, spot a target, and make a move. They didn't leave that morning searching for XXXTentacion specifically. They were out looking for anyone they could catch slipping. All 4 of them came into this expecting things to get serious. Everyone was armed, and everyone was supposed to wear a mask to hide who they were. Allen had a Springfield .40 caliber handgun. Newsom carried a Smith & Wesson .38 revolver, and Williams had his own .38 with a noticeable design on it. Boatwright was holding a .22 caliber short-barreled rifle, making it clear this wasn't just talk. They were fully prepared for whatever might happen. When the Dodge Journey rolled onto Dixie Highway and Williams spotted that black BMW i8, everything shifted instantly. Nobody had to say it out loud. The decision to target José Onfroy was understood without words. Williams told Allen and Newsom to go inside and make sure it was really him. At the same time, Boatwright and Newsom pushed Allen to go in with Williams so there would be no doubt. Allen walked into the store, passing right by Onfroy, who was inside with Leonard Kerr, just looking at motorcycles like it was any normal day. According to Allen, Onfroy didn't even notice him. While inside, Williams grabbed 2 black neoprene masks at the counter, a move that made their intentions even more clear. Then they headed back out to the SUV to regroup. Once inside the vehicle, Allen spoke up and said it was a bad idea. He warned them that he and Williams had already been caught on the store's surveillance cameras, and things could go left fast. Boatwright and Newsom paused for a moment, unsure. Then Williams challenged them, asking if they were scared. That question flipped the energy. Boatwright responded like, "All right, we're gonna get him," and Newsom backed it up. Allen refused to step out again, knowing he was already on camera. The others pulled on masks and hoodies, locking in. Williams stayed behind the wheel as the SUV moved across the street and parked. Then came the wait, 8 minutes and 35 seconds of silence, all caught on surveillance. In court, prosecutor Pascal Achille played that footage straight through. No cuts, no sound, just pure stillness to show exactly what real premeditation looks like when time slows down and a decision is already made. When Jose Onfroy and Leonard Kerr walked out of the dealership and got back into the BMW, everything snapped into motion. Williams hit the gas and pulled the Dodge Journey forward, blocking the BMW from getting out. It was quick, aggressive, and planned enough to trap them right there. Boatwright and Newsom jumped out fast.
Okay, so you guys had to talk about something.
It was basically me talking to them. I was just, I'm finna go to jail for the rest of my life. They're like, you'll be all right. It's not gonna happen to you.
Boatwright rushed up to the driver's side window, holding the rifle, making the threat clear without saying much. Newsom moved in right behind him, reaching straight for Onfroy's gold chain, trying to rip it off. He struggled for a moment and couldn't get it loose, so he switched focus and ran around to the passenger side. Newsom opened the door and grabbed the Louis Vuitton bag holding around $50,000 in cash. Kerr, sitting in the passenger seat, was told to stay where he was, but instead, he ran down the road, putting distance between himself and the chaos. He made it out alive. Newsom came back with the bag, and just like that, the robbery itself was already done. Then everything took a darker turn. Shots were fired, and 3 bullets struck Onfroy in the neck. The damage was severe. 1 bullet fragmented, hitting his lung and grazing a major artery. He wasn't armed, and there was no sign of him reaching for anything. The bag was already gone when those shots rang out. Onfroy was later pronounced dead at Broward Health North Hospital at 4:51 p.m. The 4 men sped off in the Dodge Journey, trying to escape the scene. During the getaway, they crashed the vehicle but still managed to regroup and make their way back to Allen's place. Back at the house, Williams took a separate Uber. Once inside, they opened the bag and split the money into 4 stacks. Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom each took $15,000, while Allen got $5,000 since he had stayed in the car. Boatwright argued Allen didn't do enough to earn an equal cut. The weapons, the Louis Vuitton bag, the bank slips, and even the BMW key fob all left with Boatwright and Newsom. By the time they were heading back, they had already seen the news on their phones Onfroy had died. Right after everything went down, the group's own phone started capturing what came next, and it didn't look like fear or regret. That same day and the day after, videos hit social media showing Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom flashing stacks of $100 bills, fanning the cash, smiling, and dancing like nothing had just happened hours earlier. Dedrick Williams was picked up fast, arrested just 48 hours later during a traffic stop in Pompano Beach. What made it even more wild was his outfit. He was still wearing the same orange sandals and white tank top seen in the Riva Motorsport security footage, and even in his own Instagram post from that day. No change, no attempt to hide it, and the posts were still up. Boatwright was arrested on July 5th, but not right away for the murder. It was on separate drug charges. Just 5 days later, on July 10th, the murder warrant caught up to him while he was already behind bars. Allen was tracked down later, arrested in Georgia on July 26th, over a month after everything happened. He had traveled there with Boatwright before they split ways. Newsom was the last one. He turned himself in on August 7th at his lawyer's office, closing the circle on all 4 being in custody. Each of them was hit with serious charges: first-degree premeditated murder and armed robbery with a firearm. A grand jury indicted them in July 2018, locking the case in motion. And the evidence? It was everywhere. Cameras caught the story from start to finish. Williams inside the dealership, the mask purchase, the waiting in the parking lot, the ambush, and the escape down the road. But even with all that footage, investigators still needed the inside version. Who made the calls, who pushed it forward, and why it didn't stop even after the robbery was already done. That answer came from inside the SUV, and that person was Robert Allen. On paper, Allen looked like the least aggressive one in the group. He stayed in the car, took the smallest cut of the money, and even warned that the plan was a bad idea before it happened. But at the same time, he played a key role. He went inside that store and confirmed Onfroy's identity, a move that helped set everything else into motion. Allen had helped with the vehicle rental setup, took the $5,000 after everything happened, and stayed quiet for weeks. None of that made him innocent, and prosecutors knew that clearly. But what it did make him was valuable, because if he told the full story and told it straight, his words could help lock in 3 first-degree murder convictions. The person who pushed him to open up was Detective John Curcio, known as Mongo. Inside a Broward County interrogation room, Allen later said his claustrophobia started kicking in. That interrogation has since been posted online and spread all over, giving people a close look at how the pressure slowly built. It starts like any recorded statement, with the formal process, the introductions, the attorney in the room, and Allen being sworn in. Then Curcio gets to work, calm but sharp. He doesn't rush, doesn't yell, and doesn't let Allen slide past details. Over the next half hour, it turns into a slow pull of information, piece by piece. At first, Allen keeps using soft words like "I think" and "I guess" whenever the questions get specific. Curcio catches that fast and keeps pressing him. Curcio makes it clear that small lies can make the big truth look shaky. He tells Allen the fingerprints are already there. The camera footage already places him near the Dodge journey, and Chucky Williams has already given his own version. Bit by bit, Allen starts filling in the blanks. He explains how Williams helped organize the rental and how Tony Robinson's name was used on the app because the others couldn't do it. He talks about going to Chucky's house before Reva, the group watching TV, and the discussion about masks. He explains how they drove up Dixie Highway toward the dealership and how Williams spotted the BMW and said it was him. Allen also names the weapons and places the guns at Chucky's house. He confirms who had what, and he describes the moment in the parking lot when Williams talked about robbing Onfroy for his jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, rings, everything. Then Allen says he warned them it was a bad idea, but nobody listened. Allen went on to describe what happened after they made it back to his house. The money laid out in stacks of $10,000, split up between them while the reality of everything started to hit. They had just come back from Reva, and the energy in the room wasn't the same anymore. What started as a robbery had turned into something way bigger, and there was no undoing it. That interrogation gave investigators the basic structure of a confession, but it wasn't complete yet. Years later, the plea deal would force Allen to fill in every missing piece. On August 12, 2022, Allen pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and armed robbery with a firearm. In exchange, the first-degree premeditated murder charge, the one that meant automatic life, was dropped, but only if he fully cooperated and testified against Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom. Allen knew exactly what that deal meant. He had a path to eventually walk free, while the others were facing life behind bars.
Did at any point all 4 of you expect to be armed with a firearm?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the purpose of having a mask or masks, plural?
The joint trial kicked off on February 7, 2023 in Broward County Circuit Court with Judge Michael Usen presiding. Allen took the stand the very next day and stayed there until February 13th. 4 full days of testimony under pressure. His words gave context that the surveillance footage alone couldn't explain. Cameras showed masked figures moving around the scene, but Allen told the jury exactly who was behind those masks. He broke down the planning inside the car, the decision to wait, and how Williams directed everything from the driver's seat. Allen also detailed how Boatwright and Newsom armed themselves and moved in. He explained how the BMW was blocked, how fast everything unfolded, and how Boatwright approached the driver's side with the rifle while Newsom went straight for the chain, and then the bag. Allen described the final moments in sharp detail. He said Newsom ran back to the SUV with the bag secured, and right as that was happening, the shots rang out. No warning, no clear provocation at all. In his words, as he's grabbing the bag, shots are fired. He directly named Michael Boatwright as the shooter, saying Boatwright fired 2 or 3 times into the vehicle. Allen explained that Onfroy was sitting on the left side of the car when it all happened. He said the entire confrontation, from the block to the shots, lasted around 3 minutes. On the drive away from Riva, the group checked their phones and realized Onfroy had died. Instead of silence, Allen said Boatwright turned the music up, like nothing had just changed forever. When it came time for trial, the defense went straight at Allen, trying to break him down piece by piece. They labeled him a 12-time felon, a repeat liar, and someone only speaking to save himself. They argued his story had shifted over the years, shaped to match what prosecutors wanted to hear. Boatwright's attorney pushed especially hard, going after every inconsistency, every "I think" and "I guess" from his earlier statements. But Allen didn't fold under that pressure. He admitted openly that he wanted a lighter sentence and didn't try to paint himself as perfect. He even said, "Well, I definitely would like to get a lighter sentence, yes, but I definitely have remorse. I mean, I sit and look at the stand and see people crying, and I'm trying to do my best to get Onfroy's family and friends and his fans justice." Still, this case wasn't built on his words alone. Every major detail he gave could be checked against hard evidence. And it lined up. DNA found on the black neoprene masks bought inside Riva matched Daedric Williams with extremely rare statistical odds. Another mask tied directly back to Boatwright with equally rare probability, according to forensic analyst Nicole Aina from the Broward County Crime Lab.
All right, what kind of gun did Boatwright have?
Something like small, real small.
Here, like that, like a rifle or a handgun?
Rifle.
On top of that, Boatwright's phone placed him at Riva at the exact time of the shooting and showed a Bluetooth connection to the rented Dodge Journey. Investigators also found a box of .22 caliber bullets at his home that was missing exactly 4 rounds, the same number of shots fired during the attack on Onfroy. Investigators kept stacking evidence, and it didn't stop there. A separate .22 caliber bullet was found at Williams' home, adding even more weight to the case. On top of that, Boatwright's fingerprints were recovered from the exterior driver's side door of Onfroy's BMW, placing him right at the scene in a way that couldn't be explained away. Boatwright's phone activity also raised serious questions. Records showed that after the shooting, he had searched terms like accessory to murder, a move that didn't sit right once everything else was lined up. It painted a picture that went beyond just being present. It suggested awareness of what had happened and what it meant.
So tell us about that. Whose idea was it to rent the vehicle? You have to speak up nice and loud.
Then came testimony from Williams' former girlfriend, Elle Carter, and it hit hard. She told the jury that Williams had admitted to organizing the robbery and the killing. According to her, he even tried to pressure her into signing a false affidavit to claim he wasn't the getaway driver. She refused to go along with it, and her statement added another layer that came from outside the group itself. Tension didn't stay out of the courtroom either. During the trial, a Broward County deputy witnessed Trayvon Newsom confronting Allen in holding, yelling at him, calling him a police and a sellout, accusing him of switching sides. Allen later testified about that moment, and it quickly became one of the most talked about parts of the entire trial. The defense tried to shift attention by bringing up a conspiracy angle involving rapper Drake, pointing to an old public disagreement with Onfroy as a possible motive. But investigators and witnesses shut that down completely. Allen made it clear, no outside figure was involved, and this was a robbery that escalated, not some bigger plot. When it came time for deliberation, the jury took it seriously, very seriously. They asked to review nearly 1,200 text messages pulled from the defendant's phones, going through hours of conversations piece by piece. The process stretched over 27 hours across 8 days, long enough that people online started questioning whether the jury was stuck. But the length wasn't hesitation, it was focus. With 3 defendants, multiple attorneys, and a massive amount of evidence, the jury had to break everything down carefully. Then, on March 20th, 2023, they came back with a decision. Guilty on all counts for all 3 defendants, first-degree murder and armed robbery with a firearm. As the verdict was read, Michael Boatwright turned toward Onfroy's family sitting in the courtroom and blew a kiss, a moment that left a heavy reaction in the room.
Okay, so what was in the bag?
Money.
How much?
$50,000.
Sentencing day came on April 6, 2023, and the tension in that courtroom was heavy. 3 men stood in front of Judge Michael Usan, waiting to hear exactly how the rest of their lives would play out, and the outcome was final, with no room for change. For Trayvon Newsom and Dedrick Williams, the sentence was life in prison without the possibility of parole. It wasn't up for debate, it wasn't negotiable, it was automatic, delivered with a calm tone that made it hit even harder. The decision had already been locked in the moment the verdict came back, but for Michael Boatwright, things went even further. As the one identified as the shooter, his sentence carried extra weight, 2 consecutive life sentences without parole, plus an additional 30 years stacked on top. Judge Usan looked directly at him and made it clear what that meant. He said, "You turned a robbery into a murder on that day. When you stood there and fired that weapon, you didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own." The judge didn't stop there. He painted a picture of what Boatwright's future would actually look like, saying he would spend the rest of his life inside a prison cell with nothing but a steel slab for a bed and a steel sink and toilet beside it. He even said that one day, that cell door would open, and it would only be because Boatwright had passed away, and only then would his sentence be considered complete.
The easiest way to start talking about the case you're under arrest for, which is XXX's case, let's talk about the car, the Dodge Journey.
Through all of it, Boatwright showed no visible reaction. Then, about 6 weeks later, on May 17, 2023, Robert Allen stood in that same courtroom for his own sentencing. This time, the tone shifted. What Allen gave the court was something the others never truly showed: acknowledgement and remorse directed at the people affected. He told the judge, "If I have to die in prison, and so be it, I know the risk I was taking. Let justice be served. Please forgive me." Those words landed differently in the room. Judge Usan pointed out that Allen showed what he called genuine remorse, something that had been missing from the others. The court also considered actions Allen took beyond just this case. He had provided information that helped build probable cause in an unrelated ZMF gang cold case, and prosecutors stated that by cooperating, he had put himself at real risk from gang connections. That didn't erase what happened, but it did set him apart in how the court chose to handle his future. Onfroy's family was consulted before the plea deal was ever finalized, and in the end, they agreed to it. That decision played a major role in how everything moved forward. Allen was sentenced to 7 years in prison, but with credit for about 4 years, 9 months, and 21 days, he had already spent locked up waiting for trial. When the numbers were broken down, it left him with roughly 2 years still to serve. But in reality, most of that time had already passed. The long wait before trial had essentially counted as his sentence. Then on October 26, 2023, Robert Allen was released from prison, stepping back into the outside world under strict conditions. His freedom didn't come without limits. He was placed on 20 years of probation, his home address sealed, and required to check in weekly by phone with his probation officer. On top of that, he had to attend in-person meetings every 6 weeks and follow a strict court order that banned any contact with Onfroy's family. He also wasn't allowed to jump back into the public eye or turn himself into a headline again. And for a while, he stayed quiet. As time passed, the world slowly shifted focus and the case faded from daily conversation. But then, October 2024 hit and everything got stirred up again. This time from inside Martin Correctional Institution in Florida, where Boatwright was serving his sentence. Despite being locked up, he managed to access a phone and get onto Instagram. What he posted shocked people and brought all the attention right back. He wrote, "I'm not sorry for nothing I did," and claimed he wasn't an evil person. The message spread fast, pulling the case back into the spotlight. Onfroy's mother responded publicly, and fans who had followed the case from the beginning were reminded of everything all over again. The clips moved across YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, reaching both new audiences and those who never forgot. There was a clear irony in it too. The same kind of digital evidence, phone activity, searches, location data that helped connect him to the crime was now being echoed again as he used a phone to share his thoughts from inside prison. That detail didn't go unnoticed. Then, just 1 month later, Dedrick Williams made his own move, but it came in a completely different way. In November 2024, another twist came in, but this time through the legal system. Dedrick Williams' attorneys filed an appeal trying to push a different angle. They argued that Drake, The Toronto rapper who had a public feud with Onfroy should be reconsidered as a possible alternate suspect. The claim leaned on an old Instagram post and the past tension between the two artists, presenting it as grounds for reasonable doubt. But here's the thing, that angle had already been explored before. Drake had been subpoenaed during the original trial and was later dismissed by the judge. Investigators had clearly ruled out any celebrity involvement from the start, and nothing new was brought forward in this appeal. Even Allen had testified under oath that no one outside their group was involved. Without fresh evidence, the argument didn't hold up. By early 2026, nothing had changed in terms of the outcome. The conviction still stood, and Williams remained behind bars, serving life without parole. Boatwright's own appeal, filed under Michael Boatwright versus State of Florida, was also denied in 2025. The court rejected claims about separating the defendant's trials and arguments that the evidence wasn't strong enough. In the end, the verdicts held firm across the board. While all that stayed locked in place, Robert Allen's life moved in a completely different direction. By September 2025, he had been granted permission to travel across the country for work as a licensed CDL truck driver. His address remained sealed, his probation still active, and there were no reported violations or new charges. He stayed off the radar, following the conditions set by the court. That means somewhere out on the road, he's still serving that probation, which runs all the way until 2043, driving and keeping a low profile. Then in March 2026, the story suddenly exploded online again, but not because of anything new. Social media pulled it back into the spotlight. Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, and threads started reposting mugshots and old clips, pushing headlines like XXXTentacion murder suspect Robert Allen released after 5 years. Some posts even claimed it had just happened in 2025, making it sound like breaking news. But that wasn't accurate. Allen had actually been released back in October 2023, more than 2 years before those posts started going viral again.
Trayvon Newsom do after he grabbed the bag.
The outrage that exploded online was real, no question about it, but the timeline people were reacting to was off. Still, the deeper question behind all that viral attention never really changed. It's the same one people have been asking from the start. Was what Allen received actually justice? From a legal standpoint, prosecutors were clear and consistent. Lead prosecutor Pascal Akil put it straight during closing arguments, saying, "Plans hatched in hell do not have angels for witnesses." In other words, when crimes like this happen, the only people who can tell the full story are the ones involved. Without Allen speaking up, those masks might have stayed anonymous. The roles could have stayed unclear, and the entire case might have dragged into uncertainty over time. That deal wasn't random. It was the key that helped secure convictions and life sentences for the other 3.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of them had.
That's the legal side of it. But the human side hits different. Onfroy was just 20 years old, out shopping for motorcycles, carrying $50,000 he had legally taken from his own bank account. 4 men spotted him, confirmed who he was, bought masks while he was inside, then waited over 8 minutes in a parking lot before making their move. They blocked his exit, robbed him at gunpoint, and then, after the robbery was already done, he was shot 3 times. And here's the part that keeps people talking. One of those 4 men, the one who said it was a bad idea but still took the money, is now out, driving a commercial truck somewhere in the United States. The other 3, they're serving life, spending their remaining years inside prison walls.
Okay, and what happens is when they see him?
Check to cut him off.
Allen chose to speak, first in that interrogation room, then in court, and again during sentencing, where the judge accepted his remorse as real. The others stayed silent, denied everything, and showed no public remorse at all. Now they're living with the outcome of those choices. That's the difference this case leaves behind. Speaking came with a cost, and so did staying silent. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts below because this is one of those cases people still debate heavy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can see it.